You are listening to Productivity Straight Talk with your host, Amber De La Garza. Amber is a sought-after productivity coach, trainer, speaker, and writer who gives entrepreneurs the straight talk on personal productivity. No BS, fluff, or overused jargon. Just actionable strategies to get results and succeed in business. And here is your host, Amber De La Garza, the Productivity Specialist.
Welcome and thank you for listening to Productivity Straight Talk. Today is episode 226, Rinse and Repeat. If you're a business owner who wants to improve your time management and elevate your productivity so you can maximize profits, reduce stress, and make time for what matters most, then you're in the right place, and I'm so glad you've joined me today. Today, we're going to be diving into the topic of habits. What do we do on a regular basis? How does that affect how we show up in our lives and our businesses? How habits can work for you and against you. And quite honestly, you may not think you're someone that, works in routines, or you're not a routines person. But let me tell you, you have habits all around you. So I can't wait to dive into today's topic of rinse and repeat. Before we dive in, I would love to invite you to take me up on a free mini training. This free mini training is on demand, and you can grab it by heading on over to amberdelagarza.com/take back your time. That's right. I am going to teach you in less than 20 minutes how to reclaim 20 minutes or more back each and every day, compounded over and over again. So if you hear yourself saying internally or mumbling it out loud, I wish I had more time, there's never enough time, then get your hands on this free training, Take Back Your Time. In your podcast app, tap the notes, click the link, and grab your free Take Back Your Time mini training, or head on over to amberdelagarza.com/take back your time. And now, let's get to the straight talk. Our brains love to be lazy. They like path of least resistance. Our brains love to go on autopilot. Think back to the time that you got home, you drove home from work. Right? Like your office to your house. You got home, you put it in park, and you're like, how did I get here? Like, what just happened? How did I just get in my driveway? Come on, I'm not the only one where you've driven the same path over and over again. And so you are completely on autopilot. Or maybe you leave out of your neighborhood the same way all the time. And today you needed to go the opposite direction, but you didn't because you found yourself on autopilot. Yeah, I actually found myself doing a U-turn right in the middle of the street near my neighborhood because on autopilot, I went straight for my son's bus stop. It's something I do every single day. Well, today we were running a little bit late. I clearly knew I was taking him to school, but guess what? School was the opposite direction. But my car did not take me to his school. My car took me directly towards his bus stop. And so, yes, I was doing a U-turn at 7 a.m. in the morning thinking, how did that just happen? I knew where we needed to go. Well, our brains love autopilot, and they love autopilot because it's easy. And when we think about the habits that are all around us, meaning our own habits, and why I say all around us is because we almost don't even realize they're habits. They're just things you do. Think about how you get up in the morning. How do you get ready? Do you brush your teeth first and then put your makeup on? Do you put your makeup on and then brush your teeth? When you're in the shower, do you wash your body first and then your hair, or do you wash your hair then your body? When you get dressed in the morning, do you put your shirt on first or do you put your jeans on first? Each of us have a way where we have found a rhythm that we just go on autopilot. And today's episode, the purpose of today's episode is not to tell you how amazing habits and routines are, not to tell you, you need to have a morning routine and an evening routine, although I will tell you all of that. What I really wanted to highlight for you today is that I wanted you to pause and be an observer of the habits that are all around you. Because you may have the identity, meaning you tell yourself, I am not someone that works well with routines. I like to shake it up. I like to have, variety in my day. And I hear you, but I'm also here to tell you that if you decide to bookend your day, it actually allows for so much more freedom in between those routines. If you create routines that serve you well, it actually will set you up for success even when the day goes south, even when nothing else that was planned actually happens. So stick with me. I want to share with you why I'm saying that. With my clients, I teach that to have a solid, I call it bookending your day. That if you bookend your day with a solid routine, which is habits that are stacked upon each other, and there's 4 of them, then the rest of the day can lean towards being more flexible, going with the flow. And while you have the structure on the morning and the evening, you are slipping in activities, tasks, things that you're doing on a regular basis that are actually propelling you towards achieving your goals. It's kind of like slipping in spinach into a fruit smoothie. Or in my house, I love to slip in spinach into our eggs. Now, my husband and son are not against spinach, but I can eat spinach just by themselves. Like put them sauteed with some garlic and onions on my plate and I will devour them. I mean, as an adult, I would not have ever touched them as a child. But now I want to get more greens into our regular diet, and we love to eat breakfast for dinner. So at least once a week, we are eating breakfast for dinner. So I throw in spinach into the eggs to make sure we're getting our veggies on breakfast night. All right, stick with me. I am asking you to throw some spinach into your morning routines and your evening routines. The 4 routines that I think would set you up for ultimate success are going to be a personal morning routine, a business morning routine, an evening business routine, and an evening personal routine. And when I say routine, it does not need to be elaborate and long, drawn out hours. You can start very, very simply. And oftentimes, the best way to start with making sure that your habits and routines are working for you is to actually observe them, audit them, and tweak and pull out or change anything that is not serving you. So, for example, if you wake up in the morning and your current habit is actually to hit snooze 3 times, 4 times, then maybe you just start with observing, oh, that's interesting. That's happening because it's a habit, because I've just done it so often for so long. I just do it even if I'm not tired and need to sleep in longer. Once you observe that, you're putting yourself back in the driver's seat to insert a different decision. So can you choose and focus on not pressing snooze tomorrow? Or can you choose to say, tomorrow I will press snooze only once? Because right now it's 4 times or 3 times. I want you to actually take yourself off autopilot, observe it, and insert and empower yourself that you actually get to make a different decision. And if you were to do that around your morning personal routines and your morning business routines and your evening business routines and your evening personal routines, you can make small tweaks that actually allow those routines and habits to propel you towards being the person that you want to be, propel you towards achieving the goals that you set for yourself, both personally and professionally. Oftentimes, when we think of adding routines to our schedule, it seems heavy. It seems so structured. It seems like it's not something else that I need to do, is it? Like it already feels like maybe too much. So I love to hack it to say, first, just be the observer of what you're already doing on routine, and then decide, is that serving you or is it not? And if it's not serving you, what is a tweak that you can do that you can focus on until you create a new habit? Habits, I often love to refer to habits as the paradise zone. The paradise zone, if they work for you, meaning that once something is done habitually, meaning you are on autopilot, it no longer takes willpower or decision making, it is just the thing that you do, that is paradise. But if you are doing something that you are no longer making a conscious decision about, and you are no longer, doing that thing and it's serving you, it could be hell. It could be the thing that is sabotaging your success. And so while our brains love to be lazy and we feel as though we're making so many decisions in our day-to-day that we don't want to make yet another decision, I would encourage you to take an audit of your current routines and habits that are around you, insert some decision making, and make sure that the habits that you have are now being transformed to habits that certainly serve you well. Some other areas that you may look at in the habits and routines that you already have is what is your habit around how you go to sleep at night? Is it a habit in which you fall asleep to watching TV and you get hooked, and yet it's another night that you fall asleep an hour or hours past when you wanted to? And is it that habit, negative habit, that's affecting how you wake up and start your morning? Are you rushed out of the door with your kids to get them to school in the morning, and that is the tone in which you are showing up to your office? If that is not serving you, back it out and see, what is it that I can tweak or change that sets the tone that I'm showing up in the office ready to conquer the day? When you show up to your work, whether it's at your laptop or in the office or your home office, what is the first thing that you're doing? Because I guarantee it's a habit. Is that habit serving you? Are you jumping into your inbox, or are you reviewing your tasks for the day? Are you checking in with your team? What are you doing now, and is it serving you, setting you up for success, or is it setting you up to go down a rabbit hole of living in your inbox and putting out fires for the rest of the day? This whole episode is about rinse and repeat, and I am here to tell you, you are on rinse and repeat. Every single day, rinse and repeat. And so my invitation is that if you are going to be on rinse and repeat, it is on the habits that are serving you and propelling you towards your success, your goals, the person that you want to be. And when we think about what spinach is to my family, what is the spinach? What are the things that you can slip in there? Be super conscious about what it is you're slipping in until that just becomes a habit. Are you slipping in reading in the morning because one of your goals is to read more books? Are you slipping in some movement because you're going from, maybe your previous self exercised on a regular basis, and now it's been so long that it feels so heavy to say, I now exercise 5 days a week for an hour. Well, How can you slip in some spinach? Is it going for a walk? Is it getting on the floor and doing stretches multiple times a week? Until that becomes so easy for you, you're ready to level up and now move your body in a different way. All I'm asking is that we look at what is not serving us and tweak it to something that is serving us. And then once it's serving us, maybe you find when you observe and audit your daily routines that you're ready to level up one of the areas in your routines to take it to that next level that serve you even more. We have routines around us and habits, and I'm using that interchangeably, and let me explain that. A routine to me is a stack of habits, right? And the habits are actions or behaviors that we take on autopilot. You may have habits around your thought pattern. You may have habits around what you do when it feels like a stressful or hard day. Do you have a habit around opening up a bottle of wine, taking an extra drink because you've told yourself this is what I do on a stressful day? If that serves you, no judgment. But if it's gotten to a point where that no longer serves you, it is no longer in alignment with your goals because you wake up feeling like crap the next day, then audit it and ask yourself, am I willing to tweak that? Am I willing to insert a different thought pattern to say, when I have a stressful day, insert spinach, insert something else instead of opening up that bottle of wine? If you have a hard day at work, is it your pattern, right, your habit to come home and be grumpy with your family? I don't know. Sometimes that happens to me. I can't imagine I'm the only one. But when I observed that and thought, is that really serving my goals? Did they have anything to do with my hard day? And the answer is no. Oftentimes they're sometimes the best part of my day. So why would I want to take that through that threshold of exiting my office and into my personal time with my family? But that would not really have been an opportunity for me to observe unless I made it the habit of, well, that's interesting. That's happened several times. That must be something that's just happening on autopilot, because I by no means made the conscious decision to say, hey, I'm going to go be grumpy with my family because today felt hard. And so what is empowering is that I know that when that happens on a regular basis, I also get the choice of being the observer of that behavior and making a different choice. So while habits are amazing, once you've, got those solid habits that are serving you, habits can also be something that can be negative in your life. And the way to take those back is to become the observer, to make a different decision, to not take the easy path of autopilot, and recreate it to be something that really, really helps you. All right, so that's what I wanted to say around rinse and repeat. If you're going to rinse and repeat with things that are serving you well. And if you're currently find yourself on autopilot in your business or in your personal life, my invitation is to get off autopilot, make a different decision, and then put yourself back on autopilot once you've made that decisive decision. You've shown up consistently with willpower until that habit, that positive habit, is a habit. And you do get to go back on autopilot. All right. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Really, my goal was for you to think of habits and routines a bit differently. My invitation is that you go take an audit and ask yourself, are all the things in your life that you're on autopilot on serving you well? I have loved having you listen to Productivity Straight Talk. And I sure hope you found today's episode to be thought-provoking and valuable to you. I hope you've taken me up on my invitation to go out and audit. Just right now, from this time of this episode, audit. What are you on autopilot about? And are the areas in your life that you're on autopilot on, are they serving you well? And if they are not, do not judge yourself. Do not create a story. Just decide that you are going to choose something different for that little area of your life that you found yourself on autopilot that is not serving you. And this is a little cliff notes to today's episode, but I actually really want to highlight it. The way in which to win this is to be the observer without judging it. Being like, that's interesting, because I guarantee when I was doing a U-turn, I was laughing at myself. I didn't say, oh my gosh, Amber, you are so stupid. You totally knew we were taking Eric to school today. Why did you go this way? Who does this? Could you imagine me talking to myself that way over something that was so innocent? Things that you have been on autopilot on in your own life do not need to come with you talking negatively to yourself. I would invite you to observe them and give yourself a little laugh and say, wow, I'm actually going to take back control of this situation. I'm going to empower myself to make a different decision. That's it. That's my invitation to you today. No change, no change. Without taking action, nothing will change for you or your business. So today, I hope you do take action and you start observing yourself, because I bet you are quite an interesting person. And with those observations, the next action step is to make a different decision. And as a reminder from the beginning of today's episode, if you have not already gotten your hands on my free Take Back Your Time mini training, you can do that by heading on over to amberdelagarza.com/takebackyourtime. So that's my straight talk for today. Until next time, have a productive week.